Now let's discuss Surangama Sutra. This is the second half from last Sunday that we had not explained because Purna asked these questions. Sakyamuni Buddha spoke on this from last Sunday. Lord Honored One, if all sense faculties, sense objects, aggregates, sense fields and realms of the world are fundamentally the tathagata-garbha, innate and pure, then how is it that mountains, rivers, and the great earth and all conditioned phenomena suddenly arise, sequentially changing and flowing, ending and beginning again and again? Furthermore, the Tathagata has explained that the natures of earth, water, fire, and wind are perfectly interpenetrating, pervading the entire dharma realm, serene and eternally abiding. Lord Honored One, if the nature of earth is all-pervasive, how can water coexist with it? If the nature of water pervades everywhere, how could fire ever arise? And how can it be explained that the nature of both water and fire pervades empty space without overcoming or extinguishing each other? Lord Honored One, the nature of earth is obstructive, while the nature of space is empty and permeable. How can both of them equally pervade the entire Dharma realm? I do not comprehend where the direction of this meaning. I beseech the Tathagata, let your compassion flow forth, disperse the clouds of confusion for me and the entire assembly. Having spoken thus, he prostrated with 5 limbs touching the ground, reverently yearning for the Tathagata's supreme and compassionate instruction. I skipped this one last night. So the explanation is, Sakyamuni Buddha, everything in the Saha world, like a human being, has 6 roots: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. 6 dust: sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and everything. Aggregates: form, feeling, sensations, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. Sense spaces, and the 18 realms. The sense fields, including the 6 sense roots, 6 sense dust, and 6 sense consciousness. As have been explained, they are all fundamentally the tathagata-garbha, innate and pure. Since they are the tathagata-garbha, the marvelous, wondrous, luminous true mind, innate and pure, why they manifest mountains, rivers, and the great earth? Question by Purna. They arise and cease and arise and cease again and again. They continually arising and ceasing again and again. Also, Sakyamuni Buddha said, the same with the earth, water, fire, and wind, because all aggregates are made of the earth, water, fire, and wind. And they are originally perfect, interpenetrating, just like the tathagata-garbha, pervading the entire Dharma realm, serene and eternally abiding. So Sakyamuni Buddha, if the nature of earth is all-pervasive, how can water coexist with it? If earth is everywhere, how can water be there? But if the nature of water pervades everywhere, how could fire ever arise? And how can it be explained that the nature of both water and fire pervades empty space without overcoming or extinguishing each other? So he asked Sakyamuni Buddha, the nature of earth is obstructive, while the nature of space is empty and permeable. How can both of them equally pervade the entire Dharma realm? I do not comprehend the meaning of this. I beseech Sakyamuni Buddha to show your compassion and explain why they can coexist, and to disperse my confusion and also the entire assembly. Having spoken this, he prostrated with 5 limbs touching the ground, revere the yearning for the Buddha to explain clearly so we can hear the Dharma voice of the Tathagata. That's what this piece is. Fire and water cannot combine. We often say that, right? When the fire is stronger than the water, then the water will evaporate. When the water is bigger than the fire, then the fire would be extinguished. And the great earth is solid, and the empty space is empty. How come they can coexist? The same with earth, water, fire, and wind. So we have earth, water, fire, and wind inside our body. The earth refers to the bones, flesh, organs. Water refers to the blood and fluid. And wind is our breathing and space. And they all can merge inside our body. And the water and fire do not extinguish each other. The four elements are inside our body and also in the whole earth, any place. In the empty space, there are also earth, water, fire, and wind. So Purna asked, Purna is foremost in preaching Dharma, and he's also a painter. Sakyamuni Buddha had a drawing or painting when he was alive, and that was painted by Purna. Have you ever seen that image? So Purna painted a portrait of Sakyamuni Buddha once, and it still exists till now. Yes, this is the one.
Google.
It's from Google.
释迦牟尼佛祖释迦牟尼佛41岁的时候，
This is the painting of Sakyamuni Buddha when he was 41. Painted by Purna in the London Museum as a national treasure. With beard and hair, but wearing the kasaya robe. Wearing earrings, one earring. This was painted by Purna in the London Museum, right? They existed. It existed. China is rather special. During the Emperor Wu of Liang, they put the incense mark on the head that was created by the Emperor Wu of Liang. Otherwise, they did not have that, and they do not have to shave their hair. They just wear a kasaya robe, and Sakyamuni Buddha even had the black beard and black hair. So they go for alms and they eat whatever offered. So they don't make their own meals, they just go for alms. The ancient Buddhism is slightly different from now. This is the image of Sakyamuni Buddha when he was 41. That was painted by Purna. Now it's in the British Museum with long hair and beard. He's just wearing a saya robe. But now we have to shave our heads and have to mark our head with incense. That's only in China. But in Thailand, they still maintain the dress code of the time of Sakyamuni Buddha. And then they changed quite a bit when they reached China. That was all set by Emperor Wu of Liang. That's why things change over time. In this world, the time can change everything. I think it's most important to have the mental ordination more than the physical ordination. Even though your outer appearance looks like a bhiksu or bhikshuni, but internally you're just like a mundane, ordinary person, then that's meaningless. But if you don't receive monastic ordination, but internally you're like a Buddha and very pure, and then you are a monastic. Laity looks like a monastic, or the monastic looks like a laity sometimes. Those are all possible. So whether you cultivate spiritually or not, it depends on you. It's not related to any outer appearance at all. Sometimes the monastic sangha also create bad karma. Or Jigong, the living Buddha Jigong, he ate dog's meat. You're living Buddha, how could you eat dog's meat? Someone asked him, how come you are wandering around at night when the Lingyin temple's gate were about to close? His one leg would stick in and said, that's me. Whether they close the gates earlier or later, there's always him, the last entering. He's always wandering around at night and sleeps in the daytime. He ate dog's meat, and not only eating it, he was selling it too, because his internal heart mind has been ordained. Look at the legend of Qigong. He always chanted Om Mani Padme Hum. The Lingyin temple in Hangzhou. Is that right? That's the place of Qigong, living Buddha. He had many stories. And all his life, he never cared about the little things, etiquettes and rituals. Like Vimalakirti, he does not care about anything. He was a lay practitioner, but he had amazing supernatural power. He could go anywhere. So he delivered sentient beings naturally, following affinities. Places that monastics usually don't go, like the brothel, the prostitution houses. Vimalakirti visited them too, because he had attained the non-leaking body. So he could go and deliver sentient beings there to take refuge. And like Vimalakirti, in the past I also converted and delivered many of those girls, dance girls, musicians, nightclub musicians, like Reverend Lian Yi was a musician in the nightclubs. He watched Grandmaster, he saw and watched Grandmaster dancing in the dance halls, and then he followed me to become a monk. And he said that I always go by the rules when I dance. I did not touch on 3 points, the face, the chest, and the bottom. That's for the blues. But I dance tango. So I dance tango the most. But see, the musician came to take refuge in me and became a monk. And I had delivered or converted even many more dance girls. I don't know how many. So there are many changes. Many changes. So if you're ordained internally, mentally, then you can go anywhere. What are you afraid of? Because you already have non-leaking body. And if you're completely purified, what are you afraid of? No matter what you do, it is pure. You should not think it using filthy mind. So that's called joy without
没有牵涉到
infatuation,
只是乐
just bliss without infatuation. So that's why Vimalakirti can go anywhere. I follow Vimalakirti for a while.
我跟着维摩诘也有一阵子。
There was quite a period of time I was following Vimalakirti.
那我现在也是身无肉。
And now I have a non-leaking body and also non-leaking mind.
便不是乐
I don't crave those desire, but it's bliss without desire or infatuation. So we should think this way.
人生啊，
Actually, human life, it's just about birth and death, that's all. If you see through human life, that's what it is all about. It's just all about happiness and suffering.
两种。
The work is just for wealth or poverty. You should see through
爱
this.
情呢？
And what is
不是
love?
聚就是散啊。
It's just about meeting or
爱情你不是
separating,
跟他在一起
gathering or
就是分
separation.
散啊。
So if you're not
聚跟散
together
爱情
with
只有
her,
两个字，一个
with
是
them,
聚，一个是散。
then you are separate from them. That's all. So if you see through the
生
human
活
world,
不过是苦乐，
life is just about birth and death.
事业
Livelihood is just about happiness or suffering. Work is just
爱
about
情是聚跟
to
散。
have or not to have. Romance is about
Just 这些而
gathering
已。
or separation.
你说还有
Love
什
is
么东西？没有。
that's all. What else would you say?
所以你
So you're just playing amidst them.
所以
Like
释
in
迦
the
牟尼佛
dream.
才会讲啊，
That's
人
why Sakyamuni Buddha says
上
that humans in this world is just like a speck
就
of
像大
dust,
海一个泡
just
泡，
like a bubble in the vast ocean.
不有
Don't think that 100 years is very long. It passes very
你
fast,
看看我的祖父，
disappears.
你自己想想自己的祖父，
Think about your
自
own
己想想自己
grandfather.
的父母，
Think
再来
about
就
your
轮到
own
再
parents.
来就轮到你
Next,
儿
that
女，
would be you.
儿女轮完了
And
就
then
轮到你的
That
孙
would be your children,
这样一
and
代一
then
代
your
的
children, grandchildren.
出生，
So one generation after another,
唯一的东西就
birth
是
and
业障。
death, and birth and death. And the
造了
only
什么
thing
业，
there
那个
is
业就跟着
karma. Whatever karma you created, the karma will follow you.
所以让
So
你
of the
看透人生，
37
看
aids
透
to
人生。
enlightenment, the most important is for you to
就是
see through human
修
life.
善，
Second
不要作恶。
is to do good deeds and avoid
第二个。
evil. Fourfold mindfulness is to see through human life. For right
做善不要
exertions
作恶，
is for you to do good and
然后
not
再
to
来
do
得到
bad.
四神足，就是
And
随
then
心
you
所欲。
attain four transcendent
四神
bases,
足就是随心
which
所欲，
you can
五
go
根产生
according
五
to your
种力量
wishes.
出来，
And from the five roots, you would generate five powers,
就是让
seven
你能
branches
够
of
有明
realizations,
觉，
so that you have awakening and enlightenment, and then the Eightfold Noble Paths, that
37道表。
whatever you
释迦牟尼佛
do
所
would
排列
be right. 37 aids to enlightenment, spoken by
对，你真
Sakyamuni
正的
Buddha.
新出家，
So if you truly ordained from the heart mind, then you can go anywhere. Just like Qigong living Buddha, you can do anything. Everything is fine.
这个
This is
题外话
different from what Purna was talking about. This is in a
是讲了
tangent. It's just
上个礼拜的 hug，
out of topic. I was talking about the hugs from last
对不
week.
对？
A new disciple who just took refuge, a lady that was about to hug me, and Master Lian Yen said no. So you think that if Grandmaster gives a hug, Grandmaster would have a
这
downfall
回事。
or violating precept?
我跟
No
图腾
such
达尔比上
things.
是每一次见面，每一次 hug 的。
Every time I met Master Dubden Charchi, we would hug each other. And he's a man, so you would say we are gay? So I did not violate any precepts. Master Lian Yen did. Because she had it in her mind, in her heart. She had that evil or ghost inside her. So she thinks that by hugging, Grandmaster would not be right. So how could I be your guru then? You don't revere, you don't have faith, or you don't believe in Grandmaster. So is there a problem by just hugging? If you're pure, even by hugging 100 times, you're still pure. Hugging is just a natural thing. It just happened naturally. What she wished for, and we just comply. That's it. You don't force it. That everybody lined up and then giving a hug to Grandmaster intentionally. No. That's not called fairness. Not everybody wants to do it. And you force everyone to have a hug or to make it pretentious, and that would be over. That would not be right.